Let's hear from the coach. This is Behind the Beard with Bobby Smirniotis, Forge FC head coach and sporting director. Now, the woman who takes us there, here's Mackenzie Barwell on the Forge Audio Network.
They were like, Mackenzie, it's self-explanatory.
Well, what is it again?
For us, it's something that is a little out of left field or you're kind of caught off guard if somebody is being out of pocket.
Well, but it makes sense. You don't have cash in your pocket.
It does. Makes way more sense.
No, but it makes no sense for you because you
have
no cash.
No, I'm saying it makes sense for your answer.
Yeah. You don't need to take anything out of your pocket to tap anymore because your phone's already in your hand. Is your phone your tapping device?
It's bad. It is bad.
It is?
It is my Apple Pay.
I haven't done that.
And that's a good thing. Well, you also don't have an iPhone.
But how's that a difference?
Can you do? I actually don't know. Can you?
Samsung Pay or whatever it's called. It's on my phone. I haven't used
Apple Pay, Samsung Pay.
Know, isn't that what it's called?
Google Phone Pay. I'm sure it is. And I'm sure it's possible. I shouldn't have assumed.
It's just easier when you pull out the credit card.
It's dangerous, I'll tell you.
Yes,
because I don't carry my wallet in the same places.
I stopped carrying cash as of COVID up until then.
Oh.
I did everything in cash.
I thought you always carry cash.
Not anymore. I do have, but I used to do everything in cash.
Didn't you? Oh, okay, fair. I was going to say, didn't you fund the little ice cream trip a week or two ago?
I'll always have cash, $100 or something sitting on me, but...
$100 or so.
What if your tap's not working? What if something's going on?
One of these days I'm going to get...
You're going to be like, this is what cash is for?
Should have stole cash from Coach's office.
There you go.
Well,
now we know when my money clip's missing.
yeah. You'll know the culprit.
Mackenzie's got 2 Sundays, a blizzard.
Listen, I know you've got a lot of things in this office, but cash I never see. It's definitely not out in the open, so I don't know.
Definitely not.
Today we will be utilizing one of these props, and that is the whiteboard for later. Not slang. We're not going to bring the whiteboard over the slang. We're done and past that.
I'm still waiting for the... descriptions on those?
Yes, essay pending.
Yes.
I have a game for later on. We'll get to it at the end, but I do have a question pertaining to it because when I was waiting for you in the hallway, I can hear the ping pong in the locker room going. Who do you think plays the most in there?
Benny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Benny.
Benny's in the locker room till like late in the day. Sometimes I'm like, why are you still here?
Yeah, he's in there for a while. Say Benny, Dino Bontis.
Okay.
Plays a lot. I think they're having some type of a challenge these last 2 weeks because it's pretty intense.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think those 2 guys probably the most.
Yeah, it's always going.
Noah Jensen.
No, okay.
Plays quite a bit.
I'll explain why I asked that later. But let's get into it.
All right.
You had a 4-hour delay, I hear, after Winnipeg.
Yes. Wasn't the best of days.
Ooh. Yeah, what was the travel situation there?
Yeah, the, I guess... original flight was, around 6 o'clock we were supposed to leave, and we didn't get out of there till 11 p.m. So, most people weren't in their homes till 3 to 4:30 in the morning. But so we're probably not the first team that's happened to. It's not the first time it's happened to us.
No.
Over the years, it's part and parcel of travel, and sometimes with our airlines here.
Have you ever gotten a flight canceled on you?
The longest trip we had, I can't remember if it was 2019 or was it 21. It was a trip to Pacific, and on our way back from Victoria, I remember from leaving the hotel till getting home, it was about 23 hours.
No.
We flew to Vancouver, from Vancouver to Calgary to Edmonton. And Edmonton.
3 flights?
Edmonton was a coin toss whether we were going to Toronto or Hamilton because there was multiple things going on.
Okay, yeah.
And we're just hanging out in airports.
So they must have just rerouted you and canceled the initial one?
It was all over the place. And I think it was because we missed our flight got delayed out of Victoria, which means we missed one connecting flight, which means we had to connect 2 more times to get here. It was terrible. It was 2019. But we had gotten the 3 points out there, so that made it easier.
Okay, it was worth it. All the team bonding in the world after the win.
Not much bonding going on.
Okay.
When everyone's tired,
everyone's
nothing much
tired of each other.
No.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so the 4-hour delay isn't the worst that you've seen.
No.
That makes sense.
Not the worst. We've traveled a lot.
I could see that based on your initial response. You went, yeah, it's just one of those things. Or
one of those things.
Okay, I guess we could talk about the game now.
Yeah.
2-1 loss for Forge, but I think it's fair to say that you did maintain control for most of this one, having about 65% possession, but also Valour proving to be threatening in the opportunities that they did have, capitalizing on 2 of 2 shots that they had on target. So how did you evaluate Forge's performance, and how might you contrast their defensive and offensive efforts in this one?
Yeah, it's one of those strange games, and we know these games can pop up on us based on style of play and what we're doing. And I thought for the most part we've been good, and we let ourselves down in a couple of moments. But their first goal comes from a free kick.
Right.
A shot that's gone in there, and that's kind of I want to say a little bit stunned us. We were doing well. To be honest, they had a crossbar a little bit early in the game as well. But that's the one thing you always got to be careful of. With these 60-65% possessions, they're all great. But you need to make sure that you score a goal, because otherwise you're going to be susceptible to counterattacks. You're going to be susceptible to some open play from the opponent. And then, when they've gone up 1-0, it's pretty easy to see, then what the game plan fully becomes for them is really closing things down. And I've said this enough. It's one of the hardest things to do. It's beat low blocks, a team that's going to stay compact and really rigid in their defensive structures. And we proved that the week before with Halifax.
Well, I was just going to say, it feels like we're on the other side now.
Yeah, when we won 3-0 here, they had a lot of the possession, but didn't do a lot with it. The difference in this game is we actually did quite a bit. We did quite a bit in the attacking third of the field. We created a lot of good opportunities. It's just sometimes... One, we need to be more clinical, but we need to increase the frequency with certain types of attacking patterns that we have, because the ones that we do well, worked well. I just think we went away from it quite a bit. And sometimes that has to do with, how the score is going, momentum, and then it's important for players to keep focus, because if we keep our focus and we keep on doing the right things that are natural to us, we've shown a great ability to come back in games, spin games, different things. And I think that's where we lost ourselves a little bit in the second half.
Yeah. Okay, well, looking at that equalizer that you had, it was about 7 minutes, I think, into the second half. Tristan Borges, a header, which we don't see from him too often, but notably some excellent delivery from Kyle Bekker. So what was to like about that finish from, I guess, starting with the build-up?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. If you look at it, it's maximizing width on both sides of the field. And, when we're not able to attack in those zones, it's making sure that there's the support midfielder there. And that's a pass or a cross, if you would call, that we work on in training out of these situations. And the runs are done right in the box. Kwasi's made a good run into the first zone, which allows the defenders, or makes the defenders have to choose where they're going. And then Borges make a good run off of the shoulder of the defender, and good service, good goal. So it all comes from a good process. And, that's what I just mentioned before. It's then, we got to stick to that process of what we're doing. It's unfortunate we give up the second goal right after that. Right. And I'm not saying we're chasing the game, but then you could see in the guys, they were pushing a little bit too much sometimes in the wrong ways. And if we stick to the right ways, I think it would have been a better result for us.
Yeah. Okay, well, 2 things there. One being Kwasi's movement. Talked about that last week, setting everybody else up for success.
There you go.
Okay, I've been paying attention.
Well done. And
the second being certain attacking patterns needing to happen more frequently. So is that what you're referencing there?
Well, there's a lot of I don't want to call it set motions that we have, but different things that we work on in different zones of the field. And in this game, with some very good movement, especially on the right side, even on the left side in the first half. And I thought, we could go to that a little bit more into our overloads in those areas and really trying to penetrate in behind their defensive line. At some moments we're attacking in front of them, which means we're trying to split a ball through the central axis, or maybe, we're trying to dribble across the top of the box. And those are basically scenarios where if they work, they're great, but most of the times they lead to counterattacks. Right. And I don't like counterattacks.
if they're not yours.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but that's when you want to play with a lot of possession the way we do in most of our games, the biggest thing you have to do is minimize the counterattack.
Yes.
And the counterattack can be minimized by what you do with the ball and the decisions you make. And if you take the ball to certain zones of the pitch, that minimizes counterattacks. If you make passes from certain zones of the pitch, that minimizes also counterattacks. So although I like attacking football, a lot of what we do is also built to give us a very good defensive structure.
Right.
And also know as a coach when that can break down and what scenarios in the game. And in this game, we gave too many of those scenarios to the opponent.
Okay, I feel like we're kind of getting some film in here. Maybe I should give you the whiteboard now, honestly.
No,
Not quite.
You've got the whiteboard today.
No, okay. Okay, fast forward to 75th minute. I believe Garv was the only guy in the back line who started in the same position. By that point, Malik was there, Dom, Cisse as well at right back, and then Alex moved up to the center mid. So with that look, what kind of strategic advantage would that give you looking for a goal late in the game?
Yeah, we just wanted something a little bit fresher in the midfield with Noah coming into the game and then giving Alex a little bit more freedom to move, especially on the dribble. He's very good at penetrating the lines, moving with the ball. Just give us a fresher player on the outside with Cisse, and I thought he did a very good job of getting us forward, giving us a little bit more width. And then as we were ready and thinking of adding another striker into the fold, that would have given us a natural player that can get forward in Cisse with David coming off of the field. So it was different things, and then Malik gives us the defensive stability because, most important thing about a 2-1 game is you don't want it to become 3-1. Mm-hmm. We have confidence that we're going to score a goal, but we need to make sure that we've always got the defensive stability in what we do because that gives us better opportunity to attack. So although we're changing guys in the back, a lot of it was done to give us a little bit more momentum going forward.
One other stat that I wanted to bring up was regards to corners. Fords had 11 in comparison to Valour's 1. So is one of the takeaways from this game needing to capitalize on the set piece opportunities that you have?
Yeah, there's two ways you look at it. One, it's corners are usually an indicator of forward momentum that we're attacking, because that's usually come out of a process that's happened in the final third. Could be a shot, a save, could be a deflection off of a shot, or it could be penetration into the penalty area and then a final pass that's cut off. And all of those are indicators of attacking football. They're indicators that we're doing the right things. So in a game when you have possession, it's something we look at, not only the shots on target, where the ball is in what zones, but we also look at the corners because that's an indicator that we're attempting to go for the goal.
Right.
Sometimes you could have 60% possession, have 2 corners and 2 shots. It's all for nothing. It's one of those games where I'll say you've done everything and you've done nothing all at once. Mm-hmm. This wasn't that type of a game. This was a game where we created, we had good opportunities, we put forward momentum, we put pressure on them, and yeah, of course, you want to capitalize off of a corner, but a corner from service also isn't the highest percentage of scoring goals that we know from statistic around global football. It's not the easiest way to score, but there's different ways to do it. I thought, globally we did a good job moving things around with some of our short corner kicks. But mostly what I take from that is that, yes, there was the right forward momentum that we needed to attack. But then there's going to be games like last week where we had none and we've scored 3 goals. So.
Right. Okay.
Football is random sometimes.
It's random. Let's move on to Ottawa this weekend. Yep. You played them twice already. Both have been away, though, this time at home on Saturday. They've been at the top of the table for a majority of this season, and you concede 2 games to them. So what do you think has made them successful this year and difficult to beat?
I think they started with a good positive energy to the season. They're a fully rebuilt team from the beginning of the year. And that usually gives a new sense of energy to a group. They've done a good job bringing in players with a lot of experience in the league, players who have played a lot in a lot of different places. So I think, that brought a good energy. What you're seeing now is probably that grind of the middle of the season.
Right.
That grind sometimes of being at the top and then, slowly you may lose one or two matches, and then that pressure sets in, because pressure can come from a lot of different ways, and we've lived it as a club in a lot of situations in the standings, and we live it every day just as a club we are, and the history we've created for ourselves and the tradition of winning and so on. That puts a lot of pressure on the players, but that's positive pressure in football. That means there's a high expectation of you each and every game. And I think, a combination of that, and now we see ourselves, and I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, that, maybe it was a month ago, that the league is somewhere at ground zero. Mm-hmm. We're a little bit closer to that today after this past weekend. You look at the results across the board. Ottawa's lost points. York only gained one. We've lost points. Cavalry gained points. So all of a sudden, there's everything close there. And, we have this magical game in hand, but it's only great if you get your maximum points. Otherwise, it does nothing.
Yeah.
So, this one, for both teams on Saturday, it's very important. It's a crucial point in the season. And for us, maximum 3 points in this game puts us back in a fantastic spot going forward with a midweek game to catch up with everyone. But, yeah. You need 3 points.
Well, I was just going to say, going back to the pressure that Ottawa is facing now is, been there, done that for this team. Going back to the thing you said before about the amount of corners you have indicating how much you're going forward, another stat that you might not know.
There you go.
28 goals scored in the past 16 CPL matches for this side. So what do you think that, maybe in combination with the other stats, including corners and things like that?
How many from corners?
I don't know all time, okay?
Not all time, this year.
This year, I don't know. Sorry.
4.
Actually?
No,
it's not 4. What do you mean 4?
4 goals.
Off of corners.
Oh,
I thought you meant corners all of this season. I was like, did we not just say?
We have the most corners in the league. Other than last week. Last week was an anomaly.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Okay, interesting. You know what also? Just now that we're spitting out random facts,
here we go.
You trail in clearances made.
What does that mean?
Like, you don't make that many clearances, I guess.
Because we don't have to clear the ball.
Exactly. So take that as you will,
yes.
Okay? But
right, and that's the beauty about stats and sports. You can look at them different ways. They're like, team doesn't win a lot of balls in the air, headers. Usually in a Forge game, the ball's not in the air much.
In the air, yeah, this is fair.
But so you always got to look at it. So it's always important to look at that based on style of play of the team and the opposition.
It's all about perspective.
Yes, there you go.
But looking at these
great stats,
attacking stats, what do you think that says about the, offensive capabilities of this team?
Yeah, we can score goals, and
Boom.
we score goals. We just got to keep the ball out of the net. That's my number one thing, and I always want the team to be better at it. As much as I love attacking football, I hate being scored on. Hate it with a passion, because I know that always makes things difficult. That gives momentum to opponents. But guess what? We're playing a sport with 2 teams on the field, and both are trying to score goals.
Well, let's move on to the game.
Don't bring any popcorn.
Yeah, that'd be bad. It'd be everywhere. Listen, I asked you about ping pong earlier.
Yes.
Because I did some research with some of the guys yesterday and this morning and asked if they could play any random sport in the Olympics, which one it would be.
Random sport.
Yeah, I didn't want it to,
there are some random ones.
And there are some random ones.
I got the surprise today, rock climbing.
Oh, is that one? I was actually wondering if it was.
And then there's speed rock climbing.
Oh, like racing up the wall?
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
You prepared with your prop over there?
I am prepared with my prop. 3 guys said ping pong.
Okay.
How many did I ask?
That's not a random sport. Table tennis has been in the
Olympics. To be
honest, for years.
I know. They didn't really get that creative with it.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I asked 8 people.
Yeah.
I'm going to write down the names of the players and the sports, and then we're going to try and connect the dots here.
Oh, okay.
Okay? For the viewers on YouTube, you can see this. For our audio listeners, I will explain.
What is wrong with our players?
Okay, so we have... You can...
Boxing.
Boxing is not random. Mind you, I didn't really emphasize...
I'm just going to do this?
Okay, so he says Dom for judo.
Okay.
That is correct.
It is.
Mm-hmm. We'll go along.
Malcolm's going to go with rowing.
No. Come on now. Come on. I thought Malcolm's was actually quite obvious, and it's not rowing. Think of the other aggressive sport on this one.
Well, I was going to go there.
Yeah. Boxing.
Malcolm. So Noah.
So far, we've got the 2 most aggressive guys with judo and boxing.
Gotta stop erasing these things. Who's this? Dan?
A Dav?
Oh, David. That's David, and that's who that?
Daniel.
Archery.
Yes, correct.
So we got 3 right?
That's correct, yep.
All right, we got that one. So now we got 3 guys left. 3 sports. Then Noah goes with the obvious.
Yes, Noah is rowing.
Yes, Noah's rowing it. And now I have Mateo and Dav.
1 ping pong, 1 tennis here.
Okay, Mateo's going to go to ping pong. No? Which one's your random sport?
So I think I would do gymnastics.
How is that random?
I just did that to make you mad.
Rock climbing.
I think I actually did rock climbing competitively, I'll have you know.
But it's a random Olympic sport. It's
yes. Can you tell me it's cool that I did rock climbing competitively, please?
Oh, competitively. I wasn't listening to you. I was just angry.
Exactly. You do this all the time. Okay, so final answer is Mateo said tennis.
Tennis.
And David. Shwanya, ping pong.
Table tennis. Mm-hmm. Not ping pong.
Apologies. Listen, thank you so much for letting us use your tactics board for today's episode.
Yes. And we found a green marker, which I don't like using, so I'll have to clean that board.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, you also need your entire stash of markers back.
Yes. Maybe Jelani's taking them.
Probably. Or locker room. All right, episode 15 next week.
Excellent.
Another one in the books.
This has been Behind the Beard with Mackenzie Barwell and Bobby Smyrniotis. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share.
Pause. I'm going to have that. This thing's huge.
Don't you think you should have done this before?
Yeah, okay, maybe. But we like to make it as long-winded as possible. Actually, you're right. I should have. I literally had like 10 minutes to do this. It's fine. We're teaching you a lesson.
You're doing the whole crossover thing. Connect the lines.
Yeah. Okay.